Welcome back to the channel, everybody. How you doing? I just want to say I appreciate you guys being here. Today we're talking about TikTok again. I did a TikTok video a while ago talking about skim reading, so today I want to talk about, is TikTok ruining reading? I'm actually going to do one about this. I want to play devil's advocate, talking about, has TikTok helped reading as well? Because I think there's pros and cons with TikTok in general, so I kind of want to just do both sides, just talk about my thoughts on both sides of it. I thought about doing it in just this video, but I just want to talk about what I think is what TikTok has ruined reading, and then I want to do a video about why TikTok has helped reading. Because I think, like I said, I think there's pros and cons of this, but this isn't more of a TikTok thing. I think this is just a social media thing, but TikTok's really popular, so I gotta talk about it. Now the question is, has TikTok ruined reading? And the short answer is sort of, and the long answer is still sorta, but long-winded form. I feel like TikTok has ruined reading in some elements. I think it's not the reading part, it's more of the challenge of wanting to read, the aesthetic of reading, why reading has been ruined. I don't think it's actually reading. I think it's having all these books and saying you've read 50 books in a month and having hundreds and hundreds of books that you've owned that you don't actually read. They're just there for the aesthetic, and it gives the audience who are watching videos like this are like, ooh man, I need to do these things too. Now, am I hating on people for buying books? No, you can do whatever you want. It's a free country. You can buy books and just put them on your shelf forever. A lot of people do that. It's called coffee table book. To me, I feel like that aesthetic of reading is actually worse because people are not actually reading then. You're just buying the books and just sit on your shelf, and you're not actually reading a book. You're just looking at it, and you're like making it cool because you're like, look at me, I'm just like everyone else. And it's like, but you're not reading. You're like not doing the whole point of it. It's like buying DVDs of movies and then just leaving them on your shelf, and you're like, I watch movies. And you're like, do you though? Do you really? Because you're not. And that's the thing too. It's like I said, like, I'm an advocate person that I just want people to read. And I just feel like social media in general pushes this idea of everything you see on the internet is real. People do all these things that are real, and it's actually just fake. Like, a lot of people that post these things about how many books they've read in a month, or all these pretty books that they get because they like to read it from this author, is fake. I think a lot of people are just super fake about these things. I see a lot of things constantly on YouTube and on Instagram and on TikTok and on Facebook, just all these networks of just people lying about how many books they've read, how much they love these authors, because then when you ask them about questions about, what is this book? Did you like this book? And they can't tell you a damn thing because they're so focused on reading the next thing for social media that they can't actually tell you how this book made them feel. And it's kind of a shame. Or they're just, I think they share a lot of the same opinions of what other people that they have seen that literally have read the book. They just tell you the same thing that they just learned from someone else. So that's how I kind of look at it, is I feel like there's elements of social media in general. Like I said, social media in general, I'm saying. Has TikTok played a role in this? Yeah. But I'm going to make a video about talking about what I think is good with TikTok and social media for reading. But this is the bad part of it. But with this, I'm just thinking about this a lot. I really have. I think there has been a decrease in reading in general. Yes, you can see videos of people promoting books and reading all the time, but are these people actually reading? Or is it just more of the aesthetic of reading? I feel like it's more of the aesthetic. It's just more of like the cool thing to do than actually reading the book. And then, like I said, when you ask people and you talk to people about their books and you ask them, oh wow, you read The Catcher in the Rye, what is the book about? And they're like, well, it's about the rye. And you're like, what? Granted, I mean, a lot of people probably haven't read The Catcher in the Rye, but it's just like how I'm just using it for example. But like, that's just how I look at it. I feel like when people actually are reading and they actually enjoy the book, they will tell you. Even if someone doesn't like the book, they're going to tell you why they didn't like it. Like, you can ask me any book that I've read on this channel, I could probably tell you, yeah, I didn't like this book for these reasons, or I like this book for this reason. I'm not trying to say like I am like the ideal reader, because I'm not. Like, I do a lot of reading in general, which a lot of people just can't do. I make a lot of time for reading. I made a video about how to read faster, and in that video I tell you why I do. I sacrifice a lot of time reading compared to anything else. Now, does that mean I'm reading 50 books in a month? No, I'm not. I read maybe 5 or 6 books in a month, which is still a lot for a lot of people. But you gotta remember, my book sizes are all gonna be different. And I feel like the other problem is that I look at with social media is there's no variety I feel like we're promoting the same stuff constantly that is just almost numbing to me, because people are always promoting the same exact books where I'm like, but didn't I just see this book? What about another book that's maybe not from the same author? What if it's from the same genre, but it's from a different author that might be not as popular? I also feel like that's another problem, that we are in like the cesspool of showing everyone the same exact books constantly. And I want to make a video. I thought about doing it back in Valentine's Day, February time, of making a video about smut in general, but I haven't yet, because I'm trying to figure out how I want to approach talking about smut for books, because it's not like I'm against smut, but I'm really 50-50 with, I want to just talk about smut versus actual romance and go from there, because I just feel like those two in a genre are actually completely different. That's an issue for another video. But in general though, I feel like social media has ruined reading in so many elements that people are not actually reading. They're more of just showing that they are reading, and it's more of like a race. It's more of a competition for people to read as many books as they can, but they're not just retaining any information. And that's an issue that I think a lot of things, just social media in general, is showing people. I think that's just the toxic side of social media, where everyone wants to do what someone they see online is doing, even though behind camera it's super fake and they don't actually do any of these things. It's the same thing as like the bodybuilding, the fitness influencer, the fitness industry is like that, where you get to see all these aesthetically pleasing bodies, but in reality they're all on steroids, which is a whole other thing that is just a really bad pandemic for the bodybuilding industry in general. Anyways, so this is just a ranty video talking about how I feel like social media, and I did say TikTok, but social media in general has ruined reading. Now you guys can watch in the future, I don't know when, I think probably in a couple of weeks, I'm going to do why TikTok is good for reading, because I think it is. I think there's a lot of good elements of social media of why reading is important, but that's in another discussion. If you guys made it to the end of the video, I do appreciate it. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree with me that social media has ruined reading? Or do you think I am a complete lunatic and do not agree with me at all? I would love to know down below. And of course, make sure you guys stay safe, stay humble, and tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay weird.